60 miles out of Wyoming. We see Ryder and Mara being transported with a few other prisoners to somewhere, as Ryder says to the driver, "So what does Ragnar have us doing today?" The man says, "You're being transported to one of our facilities." Mara says, "One of." The man says, "It's a factory. You're both going to be pulling your weight. You see, Rob impressed the big man, but it doesn't mean that we trust you all yet." Ryder says, "Oh, well, I'm sure you're feeling real big and giddy now. I mean, you're sitting in the driver's seat, thinking you're leading the way. Thing is, you're trapped with the outlaws, motherfucker." We see them pulling into an old factory as we see a bunch of workers there outside clearing the deadheads on the fence. As skull hunters push them forward and they say, "Move, both of you. The enforcer is waiting." We see them take Ryder and Mara into a room guarded by men as they sit them down and the enforcer walks in and says, "Prisoner 485 and 486. You're both here because Ragnar is giving you the option to the path of success. You will be kept here until he sees fit. Ryder and Mara, you will be tasked to clear the crowd of the deadheads and you will fix the place up. We are looking to turn this place into an outpost for more new members of the prey. You will help us make this place what it is." Mara says, "Thank you for giving us a second chance." Ryder says, "Wow, that's it, huh? Shit, after everything we've been through." The enforcer says, "Be happy you're alive at all. Ragnar saw potential in you. But in here, it's up to me." Ryder says, "Fuck you." The enforcer says, "Be careful of your tone. Talking back is why you're here in the first place." As he points towards Mara, he walks away as Mara says, "Keep your shit under control. We'll find our moment by being smart and by giving it time." Ryder says, "Time? Time is the one thing we don't have." We see Ryder and Mara being escorted to a small room with two small sleeping bags on the floor as we see them get locked in as the Skull Hunter says, "Welcome to the shit end of the stick. You'll start tomorrow." Ryder and Mara are sitting in this dark room as he says, "Start tomorrow." What kind of fucking asshole is this anyway? Mara says, "Hey, we are at our most vulnerable spot right now. We gotta keep our heads down and just embrace this shit for a little while longer. They need to believe that we're following their ways. Because if not, I don't think we're leaving this place." Ryder says, "No. We kill them all. We find a way to take this place down from the inside. And we do it for the others. We do it for my mother. We need to do it in her honor." Mara says, "In her honor?" Ryder looks like he's holding back, and Mara says, "Ryder, I've been asking you for weeks what happened that night when you were taken, and you haven't been the same since. Tell me what happened." Ryder is shaking a little bit and says, "I killed her." Mara says, "What?" Ryder says, "The men were there. I heard something going on outside, and when I went down there to help you, they knocked me out. And I told her to stay put, and now here we are. And she was nowhere to be seen." Mara says, "Look, you don't know that. All right, I mean, maybe they took her somewhere else, Ryder says. Then why wasn't she at the skate park that night? Maybe if I just did things differently, didn't act out like I always do, tried protecting her more, maybe she'd still be here. Mara holds his hand and says, hey, you are not at fault for this, and she wouldn't want you to think that way. These people, they're gonna get what they deserve in time. They will, okay? I promise. They hug as Ryder starts breaking down and says, how could I do this? How could I do this? How could I do this? The next day, we see the cell door opens as the guard says, rise and shine. They take them both out of the cell as we see them get walked outside, as they both get handed a small knife. As Ryder says, really? We clear the deadheads with one little knife. The Skull Hunter says, that's your warm-up. Later you'll be tested. Mara says, what kind of test? The guy says, if you're strong enough for Ragnar to give you a second chance, like you probably would claim you would, get to work. The guy walks away and Ryder says, this ain't gonna go his way. Mara says, well, for now it is. Let's just get through this. As we then see them killing deadhead after deadhead, as we see the Skull Hunters are just watching them from the other side of the fence. As we see Mara notices Ryder is just letting out all of his anger. As we can see, he feels the guilt of getting put in this place. Later on, we see Mara and Ryder looking very rough as they are sitting in the cafeteria with some of the other workers, as Mara and Ryder don't sit with any of the other prisoners. They go to a separate table by themselves. As they sit down, but as they're sitting down, the enforcer walks up to them with two men, and the enforcer just takes Ryder's tray of food and he throws it on the floor. Everyone in the cafeteria is looking at them as they put a plate of dog food in front of Ryder as he says, eat. Ryder says, are you fucking serious? The enforcer says, son, ain't nothing about this isn't serious. You damn right I'm fucking serious. Ryder then looks at the enforcer and says, I should have killed you after what you did to our family. The enforcer says, yeah, you probably should have. But you missed your opportunity, just like this one. Ryder says, and if I don't eat this? The enforcer says, well, let's put it in the simpler terms. You will eat every bit of this until you tasted every bite of it. Or we will start by killing this lovely angel right in front of you across the table. Then we'll proceed to kill everyone back in Wyoming, everyone that you know that's back there. And let me make sure I specify this, son. It takes one call. And if Ragnar hears that you didn't follow my instructions here today, it's over for everyone else you know. So, are you hungry? Ryder looks pissed, as he really looks disgusted and says, I will. The enforcer says, you won't be doing anything else if you don't eat. Ryder then hesitates, but then he starts downing the dog food as Mara watches him eat it. As the enforcer then says, that a boy! Ryder then finishes the plate as the enforcer says, now, was that so bad? Ryder said, well, how about you have a fucking bite? He then throws up on the floor as the prey laugh at him, as Mara looks angry, and the enforcer says, all right, point made. John, get over here, clean this up, why don't you? Ryder says, what the hell happened to you, man? Hell, you used to be cool, man. The enforcer says, well, I'm a damn mystery to me. As they walk away from Mara and Ryder, as Ryder says, I did that for you. Later that day, we see Ryder and Mara sitting in the cell as Mara says, Are you okay? Ryder says, Aces. You? Mara says, hey, we just need to swallow our pride for a little bit longer. We made progress today. And you followed their orders, Ryder says. Yeah, and I swallowed my dog food too. Is that swallowing my pride? Mara says, just stop. I've got something I want to tell you. Ryder says, what the hell is it? More bad news? Does more shit come up for us? Living hell that this place is in general? What the hell do we have going on now? Mara says, not now. Ryder says, why the hell not? Mara says, because this place is tearing apart who you are. And when we get away, we'll talk about it then. Ryder says, well, how the hell are we gonna... We then hear someone walking up to the door as they unlock the door and let them out. As Ryder says, what the hell do you people want next? Is it fucking cat food next, motherfucker? Or should I just kill you right now, you stupid? The Skull Hunter says, shh. Keep your voice down. We're getting out of here. Mara says, what the... Hunter? Is that you? He says, your mother and I are here, and we're getting you both out of here now. Come on. As they all quietly start walking through the halls, trying to find an exit, Ryder then whispers, where's my mother? Is she okay? Is she mad at me? Christ, tell me she's alright. Hunter says, she's fine. We came all this way to save you. Her orders. Mara says, how the hell did you get the keys to the cell? Hunter says, I got it off of an idiot at the door. Little skinny twat. Fucking dumb fuck he was. Out of nowhere, a bullet hits the wall next to them. As they start getting shot at, Hunter then gives Mara a gun. As she fires back, Hunter looks at Ryder and says, sorry buddy, only got one left. As they are firing back, he shoots two of the guys as Hunter says, this way! They run through the halls as we see the exit from down the hall. Mara fires the gun back to some of the other soldiers firing at them. As we see all three of them run outside to escape. We see them running through the outside of the factory trying to get out as we see vans lined up in the back. As we see two snipers on the rooftop start firing down at them from the top. As they then fire back, as Mara fires a few shots and says, I'm out. Hunter says, me too. He sees more men are coming and looks at the fence in the background and says, everyone get in. I'm gonna do some Duke boy shit. They get in as we see Hunter behind the wheel as he says, let's go. We see Skull Hunters in front as they are firing towards the van as he drives through and runs them over while they are still firing at them. Hunter then turns and rams through the fence as they break out of the factory, as we then see more Skull Hunters see them leaving, as a few start running after them. We see they drive for a bit, and then they pull over. As we see them get out, as we see it's foggy out, as we see the sun coming up, as Hunter says, okay, we're out, but we gotta get you both back. There's probably more coming to the... We see 4 Skull Hunters come out of the woods, as Ryder, Mara, and Hunter all look pissed. As we see the Skull Hunter says, well, little piggies, what are you both doing outside the pen? You're going back. Yo, the Enforcer is gonna get a kick out of this one. But as we see, they all get blown up. As Ryder and the others get down, they all look up to then see Elara walks up to them and says, they walked right into that one now, didn't they? Thanks for getting them back, Hunter. Ryder runs and hugs his mother and says, Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Elara says, for what? Did you kill someone you weren't supposed to again? Ryder says, no, nothing like that. I just thought they killed you that night. I thought I failed you. Elara chuckles and says, honey, I've come to realize that the only thing in this world that can kill me is me. Hunter says, we better go. More are going to be coming. Elara says, wow, where'd you get the van? Hunter says, took it on our way out. Come on, get in. Later that day, we see Hunter and Mara riding in the front, and Ryder and Elara in the back, as Ryder says, we telling the others back home about what's going on? Elara says, they already know. Everyone's worried about you too, so hopefully that'll keep their spirits up when you're back. Ryder says, How's Jamie? Is he okay? Hunter says, he's fine. Little buddy is doing great. It feels like he's gotten taller lately. Ryder says, yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Elara asks, so what did they do to you back there? Mara just looks at Ryder and he says, to us? Nothing but tell us exactly what we need to know to use against them. Back in Lincolnville, we see Ryder sitting in his house looking sad as he gets a knock at the door. And he opens the door, as we see an older man standing at the door with a case of beer in his hand, as he says, "You're still alive, you crazy fucker." Ryder smiles and says, "Hey, fuck you, Brick. How you doing, man?" He hugs the guy, and the guy says, "Well, how the hell are you?" Ryder says, "I've been better." The guy says, "Well, I got your favorite from the bar." We see them sitting on the porch drinking beers, and Ryder says, "Yeah, it was rough." The man says, "But Rob and the rest, are they okay?" Ryder says, Yeah, they're okay." He just sits there and says, "Hey, can I ask you something?" The man says, "Shoot. How can men like us be alive after all the unspeakable things that we do and just get a slap on the wrist? I mean, men can get out of the Magic Kingdom no matter what they've done, and as long as they say the magic words." The man says, "Well, I got to believe we could be forgiven. And you and me, we've done things that we'd love to take back. Now, see, the only question is, are we willing to do those same things that you saw happen all those years ago?" Ryder says, "Yeah, but I made one big fucking mistake. And I didn't mean it, they meant it. That's my calling. To get people killed. All life, when they meet me, just disappears. And that's the reality." Later on, we see Ryder loading one of his guns up as he hears a knock at his door. As he says, "Go away. Whatever you want, it can wait till tomorrow." We hear Mara's voice outside the door saying, "Yeah, this is kind of one of those I need to talk to you now, not later type of situations." Ryder says, "Well, what the hell's so damn important this time of night?" He opens up the door and she says, "Can I come in?" Ryder says, "Yeah." They sit down and he says, "You want a drink or something?" Mara says, "I can't. That's actually what I wanted to talk to you about. I tried telling you earlier, but remember when we were goofing around a few weeks back?" Ryder says, "What? Are you?" Mara says, "I'm pregnant." Ryder says, "You are?" Mara says, "Look, I know this isn't what you wanted to hear." Ryder stops her and says, "What? Are you kidding me? We're gonna have a baby? I'm gonna be a father." He picks her up and says, "We're gonna be parents." Mara says, What? You're not mad?" Ryder says, "Oh, hell no, I'm not mad. This is amazing." He hugs her and says, "And now I get to be there. I get to be there for another life."
There's a brand new